The Israeli military says another 3 soldiers have been killed in battles in northern Gaza. That takes the number of Israeli troops killed now in Gaza to 154 since the beginning of the ground campaign at the end of October. Hamas says its fighters are using guerrilla tactics, ambushing Israeli soldiers and using their knowledge of Gaza's terrain and tunnel network. Alan Fisher is live for us in occupied East Jerusalem. So, Alan, what more are we hearing on these Israeli casualties?
Well, this announcement coming from the Israeli army just a few hours ago, 3 more dead in northern Gaza. 1 officer, 2 soldiers died during fighting in a part of the strip that the Israelis said more than a month ago that they had virtually complete military control. This proves that that's not the case. The Israelis have talked about how there has been intense fighting in the northern part of the strip, how at times it's not just been building to building or street to street, but at some points actually face to face. And of course they've moved their operation into the central part of Gaza, and in the last few days announced that they were going to expand the war in the south as well. As you say, this takes the number of dead to 154, 91 since the end of the ceasefire on December the 1st. Now, the majority of polls continue to show that the Israeli people support the war in Gaza. They support the goals of defeating Hamas. But the Israeli government will know that every time there is a loss in the Israeli army fighting in Gaza, then it might just tip the balance of support away from the war. They are aware of that. And certainly there's been criticism of the way that the army has conducted the war, led by the Israeli cabinet. One member of Benjamin Netanyahu's government actually in the last few days said there should be more airstrikes, that too many soldiers were dying on the ground. Now, the intention is that this war will go on for several months. We heard it from Daniel Hagari, the Israeli army spokesman, just last night. We've heard it from Benjamin Netanyahu as well. He says he speaks to the families of those who've died. All of them, he says, have told him to continue fighting the war. Otherwise, their son's loss would be in vain. And Benjamin Netanyahu insists that that's exactly what he's going to do. The war will go on for months, and the war will go on until Benjamin Netanyahu believes that Israel has its victory.
Alan, thank you. Alan Fisher in occupied East Jerusalem.